Hi, my name is Martha, and this video is part of a series aimed at assisting you in preparing for your quantum health or quantum healing session. Today's topic is who's doing the healing. The short answer is that it's not me, and it's not any quantum health practitioner who you're going to go to. You and only you can heal yourself. So you're probably thinking, well, what's she talking about? And if this is true, how do we do it? And then also, if it's true, why would I need to go to a practitioner? So basically, health is our natural state of being. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual energy on all these levels in all these bodies, we are naturally geared, set up to be healthy. So you're probably thinking, well, it sure doesn't seem that way. And when I look around the world, it doesn't look that way either. So let's start to understand how it works. Dr. Bruce Lipton did an experiment. He put a cell in a dish with some nutrients, and he watched as the cell moved towards the nutrients and expanded. And he took another cell and put it in a dish with some toxins, and he watched as the cell moved away from the toxins and contracted. So this is a basis of how we work. Now let's understand it a little more inside. Let's take something practical like stress. It's something that most people experience every day. Some people make it a way of life. So stress is a derivative of fear. Fear is a response to a threat. When we feel threatened, whether it's our life or our safety or whatever, we can respond with fear. And what happens when we respond with fear is it produces a chemical in our system called cortisol. And what cortisol does is it takes our body and says, okay, everyone, let's get going. There's a threat happening, and we need to either flee it or fight it, and we need to do it now so that we'll be safe. And with the cortisol, some very significant things happen. So in the brain, what happens is that the front part of our brain, which is a very human part of our brain, is also 40% of our brain. The front part of our brain that has the feelings, emotions, forethought, thinking, compassion, reasoning, this part of our brain closes down, and the blood flow shifts to the back part of our brain, the amygdala, which is very reactive. And because when we're being threatened, if there's a lion ready to pounce, we don't need to sit and try to reason with the lion. We need to react quickly and have quick reflexes, whether we're going to fight the lion or flee from the lion. But we're not in that thinking mode, we're in that reaction mode. Something else that the cortisol does is that it shuts down our immune system. Because when the priority is getting to a safe position, when we're threatened, we don't need an immune system that's processing disease and pathology and trying to clear it out of our system. That energy is diverted so that we can utilize it for fleeing or fearing or fighting. You know, if a lion eats us, so whatever pathology that we have going is what the lion has to worry about at that point. Other than that, Once we're in a safe position, then we can relax and the immune system will start functioning again like normal. Another system affected is our digestion. This also shuts down. We don't need to process nutrients and energy when we're worried about whether we're going to be eaten or not by a lion. We need to get all hands on deck, all energy possible out to the limbs, the legs, arms, so that we can fight, we can flee. So that system is also shut down. Well, all this is a natural process. This is the way it's supposed to be. The only thing is that it's supposed to be a short-term process. So a gazelle that's being chased by a lion, it flees. And then once it's away from the lion and safe, everything calms down again. And very quickly, the gazelle goes into a state where it can just graze and be peaceful again. Well, we have such a great brain that what we do is we can keep this flight or fight state going on indefinitely. After we have a traumatic event, so first we have to go talk with everyone about it. We think about it. It went this way, it could have gone that way. This could have been better, this would have been worse. I could have done this better or that better. So we keep this cortisol, the emotions and this cortisol pumping for long periods of time after the event. And not just that. Have you ever seen someone who's afraid of dogs? A little chihuahua that weighs a few pounds comes and starts barking. And that person is fleeing the same as if a lion was chasing them. Pumping the cortisol, shutting down all the systems. So we see that in our emotional state, we can keep this going, even in situations where it's not really appropriate to be fleeing from a lion. And even more so, if, say, you had an argument with your boss and you got really upset and you were afraid for your job, your safety, security was being threatened, ramped up the fear, worry, and days, weeks, even months later, you can be thinking back to that argument, generating all those emotions, having that cortisol flowing. So this can, in some people, it gets so prolonged, it becomes like a second nature. And their body wouldn't know what to do if that cortisol wasn't flowing because it's so used to being in this reactionary mode. And you can imagine the toll it has on the body. Digestion being minimized, not getting the proper nutrition out of the food to make the body strong. The immune system being minimized, so not properly defending the body against anything that comes in and clearing out any pathology that develops in the body. Not thinking fully, not making, thinking ahead, making good decisions, everything being reactionary. It takes a big toll on the body. And what's even more, oftentimes sleep. When your mind's going 100 miles an hour, when you're laying in bed and you're thinking over what happened during the day, and this was a problem, and this could have been done better, and what did this person think about this, and that person think about that, and maybe I could have done this better this way, or if I would have done it that way, what would have happened? And pretty soon half the night's gone, maybe a full night's gone. And some people wake up more tired than when they went to bed. And instead of their body being refreshed and rejuvenated after clearing out, a night of cleaning out, They wake up more tired. They're drinking cups of coffee to get themselves going in the morning. So this adds to the toll that the body takes. And we can see how that can spiral very quickly into states of dis-ease, where it can run rampant in the body because of how we're living, because where our mind's at, and how we're ramping things up mentally, emotionally. In the same way, though, the mind can bring us to a state of health. Through our mind, through our thinking, we can turn off that fight or flight reaction. We can turn off the cortisol. We can return the major blood flow to the front part of the brain, where we can start thinking better, planning better, making better decisions, having more feelings, turning on the feelings, the positive feelings of happiness, joy, emotion, compassion, feelings of well-being, and laughter. We can turn them back on. And once we turn them back on, what that does, it floods our system with other chemicals, chemicals that enhance our immune system, that help the body energy establish a normal flow again, help the blood flow better in a relaxed state. And once everything's flowing and the immune system is working and being enhanced and clearing things out again, and digestive system's working better, and all the nutrients, getting the proper nutrition out of the food for the body to build up again with. Once all this is going, we can return once again to a state of health. So now you might be thinking, well, if I can do this by myself, why would I go to a practitioner of any kind? And the short answer is, well, it's really difficult. If a person's been living in this reactionary state with the cortisol pumping for a long time, where it's become second nature, they don't remember how to get back to that relaxed state, how to turn off those reactions. And what a quantum health practitioner does, it assists the person, assists them in their turning off that flight or fight response, for them to turn off the cortisol. It assists the person in returning blood flow to the frontal part of the brain, dominantly, to resuming and feeling those positive emotions, the love, compassion, trust, safety, freedom, all these positive emotions that turn back on the chemicals that flood the body. And first of all, it enhances the feeling of the positive emotions and generates more positive emotions. And it turns back on the digestion. It turns back on the immune system. So our body starts returning to where it can start clearing out disease processes and pathology from the body. And we can digest things and get the proper nutrition that the body needs for the building blocks to build back up again. And so whatever quantum health process we choose, each one has its own way of doing it. And you just choose one that you feel is the best for you. They'll help bring you to this place where you can feel these positive emotions again, feel the actual feeling, experiential feeling of wellness. And once you can feel these positive emotions and wellness and get all these positive chemicals going and your system's functioning again, the thing is afterwards is maintaining it. And whatever system you choose will also have a way of maintaining it. Because the longer that you maintain these positive chemicals that are enhancing all your systems and bringing back a state of health again, so the longer that you can do that, the quicker that it will happen. And it's kind of like a door that you open the door and now you know where the door is, how to get there, how to open it and walk through, and what it feels like when you walk through and you're in that state. And then you can return there on your own afterwards. And from time to time, things will happen, life will happen, and the door might get shut. Something comes up, you become afraid, whatever, but now you know where the door is and how to open it and what it feels like, so you know when you're back in that positive state again. There is one thing though. Once you hit that positive state in the session and you retain it after the session, one common mistake that's made is that you're feeling great, you're feeling that wellness, but sometimes it takes time for the body to catch up. It's kind of like if you've been in the dark for a long time and you've been in the cold and you've got this chill going through and through you, and then afterwards you go into a room, you turn on a light, you turn on a heat lamp. Well, it takes time for your eyes to adjust to the light. And it takes even longer for you to get warmed up by the heat lamp so that you're through and through, you're really warm. And this also happens with the body. So even though through your session, everything's turned on, the light's turned on, the heat lamp is turned on, it can still take time for the body to clear out that disease, to clear out that pathology, to rebuild those healthy cells that bring you into a complete state of wellness. So allow yourself the time, put the work into maintaining your state, and you'll see that because this is a natural process, you'll get there. So I hope this has been helpful. If you're interested in finding out more about myself or the method that I do of quantum health called the Divine Reveal, please check out my website, www.divine, D-I-V-I-N-E, reveal, REVEAL.com. And that's word. That's one word. TheDivineReveal.com. Thanks for your time and have a great day.